It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So the Boston Celtics do not have Jaylen Brown for the rest of the regular season. That's bad. But they will have other players that can step up. Now, who steps up for Jaylen Brown? Who should start? I think the conventional wisdom would say you put in Evan Fournier. However, I'm going to advocate for somebody else because I think Evan Fournier could be fantastic coming off the bench. And look, the Celtics now are missing high-level talent. And Jaylen Brown, being in the starting lineup, would have had Evan Fournier on the bench. The Celtics need to have two scorers on the floor. So you start Kemba Walker, you start Jason Tatum, you're going to have Marcus Smart and Tristan Thompson out there. I like starting Aaron Nesmith. Now, it might seem like an overreaction, and I wrote about this on Boston Sports Journal. It's going to be publishing early on Tuesday morning, so make sure you go read that because I have more statistics and stuff to kind of explain myself. But I think Aaron Nesmith has shown over the past 6 games that he has developed a certain awareness about the game. This isn't about him getting hot and hitting threes. This isn't about the blistering numbers of him shooting over 60% from the field and hitting a ton of three-pointers and really showing why he was deemed the best shooter in the draft when the Celtics picked him. This about Aaron Nesmith is about the feel for the game that he has shown. And it's more about the way he has been able to drive the ball, the way he has been able to pass the ball a little bit, and just the little niche that he fits in that starting lineup. With Kemba, with Jaylen, and with Marcus Smart. You don't need Evan Fournier out there to get the impact that you get with Aaron Nesmith. And what I mean by that is Fournier can do a lot. And I would rather have Fournier coming off the bench in the first and third quarters to sub out for Kemba or sub out for Jason. And then Tatum comes back in, let's say, because he's usually the first sub out at the 6-minute mark. He comes back in for Kemba, and it's Tatum and Fournier with, I don't know, Pritchard and pick your second string center and somebody else. That, maybe Romeo Langford steps up a little bit. But that I like because you can stagger two of the Celtics' top players and have them in there at all times. But starting the game, Aaron Nesmith, obviously he's a giant ball of energy. He is like a Tasmanian devil. This guy is just insanely energetic. So right off the bat, that energy right away, how can you be on the floor with Aaron Nesmith and not match that energy? It's the first thing that the Celtics need is an energy boost. How can you not want that out there? So he's the energy guy. You have Tatum, obviously, as your primary scorer. Kemba as another primary scorer who has been hot, by the way, himself, who's been scorching. And he's kind of back to his old self. By the way, under the radar, under all this crap that we've seen from the Celtics, Kemba's kind of back to his old self. You have Kemba, you have Tatum. Smart does smart things, and hopefully he doesn't try to do too much. Tristan Thompson's going to do Tristan Thompson things, and hopefully he doesn't try to do too much. But in Nesmith, you have a guy who can defend, who has shown that he's got high-energy defense, and he's going to – I don't think he's going to screw up. He'll make the hustle plays. He'll go in there and corner crash and get an offensive rebound here or there. And then on offense, he's going to Get the ball, shoot, or move. But that's the biggest thing offensively that I've seen. Get the ball, either shoot it, drive it, move it. He's making the quick decisions. So don't try to do too much. Get the ball, shoot it if you're open, drive it if the closeout's out of control, pass it if the defender is there. And that's what Nesmith has been doing. That's the thing that has made me think that he can function with these guys in a starting role. And yeah, it's going to mean a little uptick in minutes, but it's not going to take minutes away from Evan Fournier. Playing alongside the starters is just going to open things up for Aaron Nesmith. And he's going to be able to play in the wake of all the attention given to these guys. Who are you going to double off of when that's your lineup? You can try to double off of Smart, but he's a good player that will drive it. And if he's under control, he'll make you pay. Maybe you're double off the rookie. That's the obvious place to double off of. Just leave the rookie a little bit. Now, obviously, the scouting report is going to say, he's a shooter, so be careful. But I think that he's a prime candidate for his guy to sag and help off, because you're not going to trust a rookie to make all of those plays. I do like the awareness. I think the game has slowed down for him. And that's what makes me comfortable in saying this. 4 months ago, I wouldn't have said start Aaron Nesmith. It would have been insane. But the way he's shown that he sees the game, the energy that he provides, put that in the first 5-6 minutes of the game. That gets the Celtics started. Fournier comes in. He plays his normal 30-plus minutes, 34, 35 minutes. Run him for bigger stretches. And then Fournier becomes a closer. You don't have to close. Just because you start Aaron Nesmith doesn't mean you close with Aaron Nesmith. You can close the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter with Fournier. You sub him in. You sub him in 6 minutes at the 6-minute mark. You play him over the break. You sub him out at 10. You bring him back in at 7. You give him a few minutes, and then boom. You let him play the rest of the game. He still gets his minutes. Doesn't cost him anything. And in fact, maybe he gets to be more of what he has been in Orlando, more of a primary guy and not as secondary, and he can just feel more comfortable doing more things. So I'm going with start Aaron Nesmith. I don't know that it's going to happen, but I think that there's something there to starting Nesmith for Jaylen Brown. It's not unusual to see someone off the bench. Brad's done it a lot. You bring in Shemi Ojale or Grant Williams. Those guys started Gerald Green a few years ago in the playoffs. Those types of things can have some positive impact.